But why do the rich produce sons that screw up so often? I have my own theories. Let me give you an example. First of all, I was not rich, so I wouldn't know what went wrong in a rich home. But I do know this. I wasn't poor. I worked. I always made a living. But I instilled in both of my children they had to work from the earliest age. Just as I was taught to work, I made them work. I forced them to work. I forced them to learn the value of a dollar. Now, I went back to my childhood and I thought about something. I grew up in a sort of middle-class, lower middle-class neighborhood in Queens, New York. That's after we left the tenement of the Bronx, the tenements of the Bronx. We moved to a suburb of Queens. You know, lawns, houses, fences. It was a miracle to me. I had no idea that people lived that way. I thought it was only in a magazine after, coming from an apartment house. Now, naturally, amongst our families, some fathers got real rich fast. I mean rich, not like Rockefeller. But compared to the rest of us, they made a lot of money in the post-war years, and they could have moved up yet another rung or two. And out of that, let's say, middle-class neighborhood to an upper middle class or a rich neighborhood. But some of the fathers chose to stay there, even though they were making a fortune in manufacturing or whatever, and they stayed amongst our type. And it was for their sons and their daughters so that the kids would learn to respect work and respect the value of money by being around kids, in other words, who were still being told, don't throw your money away. How much does that cost? What do you want the money for? Did you earn it today? Because the value system, in other words, was intact in the neighborhood. Some of the fathers who made a lot of money didn't leave the neighborhood. They kept their sons and daughters there. And they did that specifically so their kids didn't get ruined. And I thought that was very interesting looking back. At the time, I didn't know what they were doing. Gary says he's a rich kid who blew it all. Gary, you're on the Savage Nation.
That's right. 22 years old, and my father dropped dead in 76 and was smart enough to make us kids wait till we were 35, which was 1989 for me, to get the principal of our trust account, and I promptly blew $250,000 within 2 years on marijuana, cocaine, women, traveling, and not working, and I was down and out. And I decided one day that was it when I was thinking about killing myself. And I went to a temporary work agency in 1990. And here I am today with a beautiful wife. We've been married 8 years. And I'm making close to $100,000 a year. I went back to school, and I never took a dime of any taxpayers' money in any kind of welfare or food stamps or anything.
Gary, two questions. One, did you enjoy the 2 years that you spent the $250? Was it fun?
Pardon me?
Did you have fun when you blew the $250?
It was really something very impressive to all my rich friends that I grew up around, and we were just all having fun at my expense. And
wait. What do you mean? They were rich, but they were spending your money?
You betcha. I was just buddies with everybody, and I became a pariah in my family, and I am very proud to say that I've gotten back with my family and attended my niece's graduation.
Oh, in other words, you were the good time Charlie. They all slapped you on the back, and you were the one who bought the drinks, in essence.
They knew where to get the drugs, and we traveled, Thailand, the whole works, the whores, you name it. And I was just everybody's buddy. And
So, Gary, you went to Phuket in what, 1983?
89. Went to
89. Oh, you went to Phuket before, while it was still, before it was relatively dangerous.
Yeah, this is when it was just a Navy town. That's correct, Michael.
Gary, I can't help it. My mind goes all over the map. I'm thinking about having all that money and having so much fun, but you blew it all, huh? And now you brought yourself back on your own.
I blew every dime of it, mostly on cocaine, and never thought I'd have to work another day. And even when it was running out, I said to heck with it. And then I just was down and out and was lucky to have a couple of friends left that I cared to be around. And here I am today.
Gary, thanks for calling. See, this is the interesting thing about talk radio that people not in the business will never understand. It is still the most powerful medium for suggestive input into people's minds. They really do. Who would listen to talk radio but people who have a brain that operates? I want you to think about what I just said. This is not a passive medium. Talk radio is an active medium. You have to turn your mind on. You have to listen. You have to use your own mind to evaluate what the talker is saying. You have to quickly decide, does he know what he's talking about? Okay, he does. Do I agree with him or I don't? Why? You have to think. You don't have to do that with a medium like television or the movies. They're made for something else. And I guess that's why I'm good at it. I love thought-provoking questions, and I love callers who provoke me into further thinking or further development of ideas. That's all.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
You're listening to an encore broadcast of The Michael Savage Show. Savage.